Okay, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighters properly. The fighter standing to my left, in the blue corner. He hails from Liverpool, England. He's 37 years old, stands 6 feet 7 inches tall, and weighed in at 84 kilos. He fights out of the Wolfslair and has a mixed martial arts record of 8 contests, 6 wins and 2 losses. Let's hear it for Tony Moran.
Definitely a bit of local support for Tony there from the Wolfslair gym.
And his opponent, the fighter standing to my right in the red corner. He hails from Dublin, Ireland. He's 27 years old, stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, and weighed in at 84 kilos. He fights out of SBG Ireland and has a mixed martial arts record of 7 contests, 4 wins and 3 losses. Let's hear it for Chris the Killing Fields.
So here we go.
This middleweight contest
versus England
is fought over 3 5-minute rounds.
Chris also possesses the best fight name I've ever heard. Chris the Killing Fields. I'd imagine there's some Cambodians who might take umbrage, but I'm sure it's all in jest.
There's probably not too many here tonight, though, so we might be okay. But here we go. Clash of 2 very tall men. Let's see what's going to happen.
Great stare down by both fighters during the introductions. Really intense.
Tony comes in.
Double leg and timber.
Chris
down goes Tony.
Yeah.
Good switch. Good switch by Tony. Chris unable to complete the takedown. Perfects the wrestling switch really well.
Chris just pressing him up against the cage, trying to go a little bit lower, which of course isn't difficult. Tony's so high, some inside knees. You can hear the corner right beside us, Barry, giving the advice.
Yeah, trying to keep Chris working tight in that clinch, making sure that he doesn't go passive. Chris still looking for that takedown. Really good defense by Tony Moran the last time. But now Chris working some foot stomps and some short knees. And a good uppercut.
Little uppercut there.
Moran trying to do some work himself. Big knee by Tony Moran.
And that's another thing, of course, to watch. Knees can come right up to your head when you're this height.
Yeah, you know, giant long legs. I wouldn't like to fight either of these guys and expect to know where the next leg strike was coming from.
Again, just battling for a position at the moment. So Greco-Roman style, but throwing in a few strikes as well.
Bit of a clinch chess match going on here at the moment. You know, you can really tell that both of these guys probably have the same game plans here, trying to stifle each other's clinch game once they hit the fence. However, once they break or once their goals are totally different. Tony Moran, you can tell, wants to get this broken, wants to box, wants to strike.
Well, what will Chris
Fields, on the other hand, wants to take him down.
Yeah, I mean, Chris took him down, but as soon as he took him down, Tony was right back up. And I know Chris's plan was to take him down ground and pound. If he can't hold him down, well, does that change things?
Well, with the double leg, you know, what Tony did was he's perfected the wrestler switch where he just was able to keep up on his elbow, was able to settle and begin to stand back up again. Did a really, really good job. Impressive job by both men.
Good body shots coming in there. 3-4 strikes by Tony.
And Chris threw a giant knee up trying to get up to the head of Tony Moran. I think it came down with some icicles on it. Again, Chris Fields looking for the doubles, trying to pummel back in here now. You can hear his corner.
Softening up the body, some body shots, which be more like what you see Ricky Hatton throwing, of course, is in our crowd tonight.
Yeah, you know, doing a lot of damage. Both fighters trying to stay active in this clinch position. Tony Moran trying to push the head down here, but Chris is probably going to try and come around the back here. Looks for the single now. Drops down again. Good defense by Tony, but he hasn't got rid of the hands off Chris's leg yet. Chris look for the high crotch. Tries to turn him here now, trying to keep his hands linked. And Tony breaks that grip and is able to work away. Throws a good shot over the top to the ear and a good knee by Chris Fields now.
Lots of blows exchanged here in the clinch. Hard to say who's getting the advantage at the moment, Barry. It's both fighters working hard.
Yeah, for me, Chris Fields has been just that little bit more active. He had his double leg attempt. I know it was stuffed very well, but he's tried for that single. It's a very hard one for the judges to call because these clinch battles, you know, both guys are doing really well, doing a little damage, throwing a little shots. We saw a good knee there again by Tony Moran. But for me, I think Chris Fields right now is trying to get more takedowns. He's being a little more active. He's been a little more aggressive. And I'd have to call the round so far for him.
And these blows aren't devastating, but they will soften the legs up, won't they?
Yeah, they soften the legs up, and over the course of 3 rounds, of course, it's a little different, you know. And again, Chris turns him onto the cage. And we're back turned around again.
And Tony's bandages come off. Haven't seen a bandage too often.
Chris now maybe looking for the throw, looking for a leg trip. You just get the impression that one of these guys needs to win this round decisively, needs to get, if somebody gets a takedown or lands some good, clean shots, then we're going to see some decent...
Tony working now. Very hard as the first round is drawing to a close.
Chris here into the tie clinch. His corner calling for elbows. And like I say, looking for that decisive takedown. And does he get it? Yes, he gets it. And that, for me, is round 1 to Chris Fields, believe it or not, unless Tony Moran can do something in the last couple of seconds.
And yet he was down and straight back up. It wasn't exactly a decisive takedown, but I suppose in a round where it's so close,
yeah, that's what makes judges' minds up.
Yeah.
That's what makes judges' minds up, you know. One of the things that you always tell a fighter, especially in the last 10 seconds of a round, as soon as the clapper goes, you go active, so you go nuts. You've got 10 seconds to go, you go crazy. And there's the clapper now. Let's see if one of them responds.
Oh. And they're breaking.
Yeah.
Was there a low blow?
Yeah, Chris acknowledges that he he connected with the low blow. I didn't quite catch it myself, but I think it was Chris who
there was actually, yes. I don't think Peter noticed it, and we certainly didn't.
I think Tony Moran sort of crumpled a little bit, and Chris acknowledged the low blow, informed the referee, and very sportsmanlike gave Tony an opportunity to recover.
And Tony himself, what exactly is his corner be telling him? Will they be wanting him to separate and try and throw more strikes?
Definitely. I think they're going to tell him to stay way out of range here, use his reach advantage, slight don't maybe, and land some clean shots. That's what he attempts to do, and again, good takedown defense.
Straight in.
And a nice uppercut by Tony Moran there too. Here's the guillotine.
Moran pushes forward. Chris has got hold of the neck.
And Tony breaks again. So we saw same pattern as round 1, the early exchanges in round 1. Tony throwing those big, long punches. Takedown attempt by Chris. Excellent defense by Tony. And now we're back to where we were in round 1.
Tony scoring points, if you like, with the punches, but as we said, really not doing a great deal of damage. Again, Chris dropping down. Tony stuffs that immediately. He
gets the double unders and able to do it. You know, it's so hard to call these battles here. I mean, they're both exchanging position all the time, constantly exchanging position, moving around, both landing their own little shots, neither with too decisive.
One or two little uppercuts now starting to land from Moran.
Yeah, nice shots there by Tony Moran, getting them inside Chris's guard. And again now being told to pummel by his corner. Takes the overhook on the far side. Gets his head around on that side as well. He really wants to dominate with your head in these positions too. And again turned onto the back onto the fence by Chris Fields. So difficult to call. You know, who's winning, who's losing in these positions, but that's the judge's job, and I think we've got the luxury of being able to just talk about it.
I'll quite happily let the judges decide. A few more blows definitely, though, coming from Moran in this round. Landing a few, and Fields looks a little unsure how to get out of this position.
Body shots here by Tony Moran. You can see the boxing background.
And Chris Fields will be looking for good performance because he's got a middleweight title fight coming up at Cage Contender 7 back in Belfast in November.
Yeah, you know, at this moment in time, it's Tony Moran who's really taken the initiative. He's landed a couple of good foot stomps, some good body shots. Those short uppercuts are doing their own little bit of damage. You can see Chris Fields looking to his corner, looking for some advice. He breaks it off and goes looking for some shots of his own.
Just as the advice came in from John Kavanagh, he looked over. Kavanagh was indicating go with the elbow. He did that.
Here's the double leg attempt. Tony McCann has the guillotine on this side. Chris Fields needs to pass. He's obviously quite comfortable because he's gone straight to mount, even though this will be the position where really you're going to crank your neck. But
and he's pulled his head out. Now he's in a mount position. Can he hold this position on the ground?
Again, what we spoke about earlier, good cage wall walking there by Tony McCann. And now looking for the armbar, Chris Fields.
But he might get the arm here.
Arm is deep.
He's got it, he's tapped. Chris Fields gets the tap from the armbar. Beautiful work there, Barry.
Well, I said that he was losing this round, and he pulls out a great submission to finish. You know, it came out of a really excellent position by Tony McCann, and then suddenly, before you knew it, Chris had that armbar on. Good submission.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner. Let's hear it for both fighters. Come on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes and 40 seconds of round 2, your winner, due to tap out by armbar, from the red corner, Chris the Killing Fields. Well, let's hear it for a very gallant runner-up. Let's hear it for Tony Moran.
Chris, come over here. Congratulations. Just turn yourself around there, just in front of the cameras. Well done. You had about 8 minutes or so of being pressed up against the cage. It was hard work. Finally, you separated, and then you got straight into the mount and were able to beat him. Was that what you were looking for, taking him down?
It was, yeah. I know he has a big boxing caliber behind him, so I didn't want to stand there and get hit, so I wanted to tie him up, try and take him down. That was the plan.
You took him down right at the start of round 1, but he popped back up. Were you worried that you weren't going to be able to hold him down?
I knew he'd be like that for the first round. But as you can see, you get pretty tired in the second, so... yeah, that was amazing.
You're a little tired yourself. And then you were on top in the mount. You were going to go for some strikes. You saw the arm, just took the armbar?
Well, I didn't see the arm. Mr. Kavanagh pointed out to me, so... You know, when you have him in your corner, you don't really have to do much, just listen and go ahead, like, you know?
We did notice that. You looked over at one point to break the clinch. He said something, do with an elbow, and immediately you were out of the clinch.
It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. He just presses, I do what he says. That's how it works.
And what's he going to tell you to do next? What's next for Chris Fields?
Tonight, getting drunk, and after that, I don't know. No, I'm fighting for the Cage Contender title in Belfast in November 13th, so looking forward to that.